Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick Davenport, aka Mr. Mental Muscle. We have another episode today on the Mental Breakdown channel. If you're first time here, we break down different topics from psychology and science. Now, today we're going to do a reaction from a YouTube page from Lenarr Young. I stumbled across this page about 2-3 years ago, and it's a pretty funny kid.
That boy is good.
And I saw this video he did on anxiety, so I automatically said, I got to do something with this. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also check out Lenarr Young's channel. He has like 4 million followers, so he may not need as much as me, but either way, go show him some love, and let's get into it.
No effort, just freshness. For 3 small spaces.
We'll be taking attendance. Now,
Just sitting there calmly.
my boy! What's up, man? Oh, it's like that.
He ignores it. That's pretty
Blocking
good.
me out now, man. You over here chilling, all calm and shit. Never seen you like this. I'm trying to watch the TV, man. Leave me alone. Leave.
It starts out pretty cool. He kind of ignores it, and I like how he personified the anxiety because obviously he's doing a skit, so he's playing both roles. But when you think about it, you talk about like self-talk, your inner dialogue. You are yourself coming at yourself. And it's funny because we would never let someone else typically talk down to us or get in our head, but we'll let our own thoughts destroy us. And he starts out by, trying to ignore it, but it's kind of trying to up the ante and get it into him. So yeah, let's see what happens.
You alone. Oh my God, sassy boy. We got sassy pants over here. I was just, just coming to check if you left your stove on. Did you, so happen to leave your stove on?
Intrusive thought.
Huh?
He's like, whatever.
Oh, you ain't jump. You got any appointments, any special appointments, doctor visits, flights coming up soon? Anything important? Nothing?
Nothing.
We gotta be.
So you see how he keeps trying to ignore it? And this is something called thought suppression. And we've learned through research that doesn't really work. Like there's an experiment called the white bear experiment done at Harvard by a psychologist who recently died a few years back named Daniel Wegner, who he did an experiment where the students had to think out loud the verbal thoughts of whatever came to mind, like, oh, am I gonna go get dinner later or go to the mall? But anytime they thought about the white bear, they would hit the bell, ding. And that was the first condition. But the second condition, he said, don't think about the white bear. And you would think, okay, don't think about it. I shouldn't really have any thoughts. But the bell rang actually just as much, sometimes more, because when you suppress a thought, you still kind of have to be like, don't do this or don't think that. So if you say in sports, for example, I work with my clients, I'll say, if you think don't miss, what's still in that phrase? Miss. So you're not really getting rid of the thought. So he's trying to ignore it, but guess what? It's doubling down. You can see that the anxiety him is trying to give him more things to worry about. You wouldn't let someone else say these things to you. And the crazy thing about self-talk is we can say hundreds of thousands of words to ourselves every day. This narrative, this script we have, and depending on what we say, sets the tone for our behaviors, and behaviors set the outcome for our actions, and it all comes back full circle. So when you talk about you overstress, your high worry, anxiety, what you think is going to add up to it. So it's not necessarily getting rid of the anxiety or the bad or unwanted thoughts. It's about saying what narrative are you going to write? Because if you're talking about hundreds of thousands of words, that's a full book like Harry Potter or something like that. You don't want to be thinking all these things that are negative. You got to have a balance. You can't get rid of it, but try to reframe them and things that are more productive. I don't always say positive, but productive, because it can give an enhancement of what you're trying to do. So make sure you take that into consideration if you're dealing with anxiety to some extent at the lower level.
You know where? Okay. Where the f your wallet at?
You see, it got him. That's the thought. He was like, okay, this is what makes him go.
Where your wallet at? Oh, I got him.
See, he even said he got him. And there's always going to be something. Now, anxiety is not a bad thing. When it comes to anxiety, the term gets used more generally. And from a disorder level, that's something completely different here. We're talking about just anxiety as an occurrence, which is just the stress response. You're the fight or flight. That's what anxiety is. It's the physiological and psychological response to an outlying stressor. And we deal with these every day. So it's there to help us handle the event. But the problem is a lot of times we take it too far and it gets in our head. Now, there's ways to combat this, but usually when we're in the moment, we can't really think clearly. You can see he's going crazy trying to find it, but let's see what else happens.
Let's kick it in now.
Mm-hmm.
You probably left it at the store. Bro, stop saying that,
And
man.
it's adding up more and more.
Stop saying that, man. I'm just saying. Somebody probably got a hold of your wallet, got your credit card, spending all your money.
And you see, so you get one little thought and it just runs with it. Now, anxiety from an evolutionary standpoint, it actually has a purpose. Like I said, the fight or flight response was meant to help us for survival. Now, when we have that psychological anxiety, it's usually looking into the future, thinking of what if, what could happen. Now, having these predictions makes sense because you need to think of how the outcome can occur. But sometimes when we think too much, sometimes irrelevant thoughts or detrimental thoughts adds unneeded pressure, unneeded stress. And you see, he's like, oh, did someone take it? They're spending your money. Now, all these thoughts are unraveling.
Hey man, look, I will call my bank. I'm gonna start making phone calls
Yep,
to the bank.
anything can go wrong, right?
Bro, where the is my wallet at, man? Where the is your keys at?
And it just upped the ante.
Yeah,
He's good.
where your keys at? You can't even go to the parking lot when you potentially lost your wallet.
You see that? They call it Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And the thing is, he doesn't even know if he really lost his wallet or lost his keys. But the anxiety is giving these, like I said, these predictions of what if, which makes sense. If you can't find it, he's looking everywhere. But now these extra thoughts that have nothing to do with it, or if they are relevant, are the extremes. Now, there's pessimism or optimism. You got to find that balance. Maybe it's in the house, but now he's thinking, I lost it at the store, but I can't find my keys. I can't even go to the store. Now I'm going to spend my money. It's just all unraveling at once. So he's doing a good job of illustrating this.
The store either. You can't go nowhere without your keys. Better find your keys. You better find them keys in that wallet.
He's going. There's his wallet. See, was it that extreme? So now the event is going to subside now. His heart rate can come back down. That sympathetic nervous system response, the fight or flight, your heart rate, your breathing rate, your blood pressure, all that can come back down to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming state. But it's like his mind might still be wondering. So let's see what else happens.
Let's go, man. Let's go. You found your wallet and your keys. It was under your pillow the whole time, man.
See? Easy as that.
The whole time. Now you gotta clean up this mess. You know that? You gotta clean this whole mess up that you made. Just for your wallet to be under your pillow, man. You gotta. Man, what the fuck?
So that was a great clip. Like, shouts out to Lenarr Young. Go follow him. But basically, you see how he found the wallet, found the keys, are on the chain. But as soon as he noticed, dang, now I got this mess. And for some people, even myself, I deal with that sometimes. That's a lot to do. It's like, dang, I gotta clean all this stuff up. So just seeing how the thoughts can pile on. And in personality psychology, this is called neuroticism or emotionality. And these people who are very high on this, they'll take the simplest things and run with it. It's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just, it's hard to get things done when you're always worrying and overstressing. And if this is you, you got to kind of get over that. And it's not that simple, obviously, but there's ways to deal with it. You can do breathing. It seems like simple, right? Just breathe. But what breathing does, or at least deep breathing and box breathing, when you inhale about 4 seconds in, hold about 4 seconds at the top, then exhale about 5-6 seconds. It activates that parasympathetic nervous system that I talked about. And what the parasympathetic nervous system does is bring you back to baseline. And why this is important, because when we talk about physical anxiety, which is your heart rate, the breathing, all that, and psychological anxiety, it's hard to deal with both at the same time. So when you make the heart rate come down by doing the deep breathing and the box breathing, you can actually calm down the physical anxiety because there's something called the vagus nerve, and this calms down the heart rate. So now you can kind of focus on that psychological anxiety. Now, it's not saying it'll just stop, but isn't it easier to find your balance on stable ground versus wobbly ground? So that's why getting that physical anxiety down will give you a better chance of getting rid of the psychological anxiety. But it's definitely something you got to practice. All in all, this is a great video. I like what this guy does in general, but this is great. He touched on mental health. He did it in a fun way that made a point. I'm sure everyone can relate to this. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see any more reactions to stuff like this. I know TikTok has a lot of mental health stuff, good and bad, but just let me know if you want to see more of this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thanks for letting me break it down and get your mind right.